in a dark closet or a cabinet. Here they are up here. And you want, this is a full jar. And the mushrooms can be at the top of the jar or just sitting, you know, halfway. Usually they come up to the top.
Okay.
And then just for extra protection, I cover it with a dishcloth. And we have actually 7 jars going.
Oh wow.
So that they're in various states.
Wow. And how do you track what stays there?
They're
You write?
numbered, so
Oh,
we
okay.
always keep the jars in order.
Oh, gotcha.
So, and then to double check that they've brewed long enough, at least 7 to 10 days, I also write it on the calendar.
Gotcha.
So this one, this is jar number 5, has been in, well, it looks like since last Wednesday or Thursday. So,
Okay.
like we would normally, this one would go another couple days.
Gotcha.
So I've already poured some of it off, and I just poured it into another pitcher to keep in the fridge. So I pour off almost all of it. You want to leave like a half a cup in the bottom or a cup, and you don't have to wash the jars in between. This is just extra culture, you know, on the side. And this, the furry stuff in the bottom or the murky stuff is called the beard. It's just extra kombucha.
So you don't need to rinse that out like ever?
No, I mean you can. Like if the mushroom dies or it gets slimy or doesn't smell right, then yeah, we would start over with a new mushroom. So this is the SCOBY. And so SCOBY stands for Symbiotic Culture of Bacteria and Yeast. And so each time a new pancake will grow. So this has actually got several layers there.
Okay.
So the one that's the newest one is the light colored one. So I'm just going to pull off. I'll leave one in my jar. And then I'll send this nice thick one home with one of you guys. And it's best if you don't use metal around the kombucha.
Like around the top, you mean? Or?
Yeah, just like a metal spoon or a metal jar or anything.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I'll just pour in like about a half a cup of kombucha to start your next batch. So when you get home, you'll wash your jar, you know, soap and water, and then pour this into the jar, your new jar. And then you're going to boil 12 cups of water, like I've got here on the stove.
I should be writing this down.
I've got the recipe before you. Already put it out on the table behind you. So this is 12 cups of water, and I really like this pot because it has marks on the inside, and it's really important that you use filtered water. So either from an RO filter or spring water or something. Don't use the regular tap water because the chlorine and the fluoride will kill the mushroom.
Okay.
I interchange SCOBY and mushroom, but they're the same thing.
Okay. So you can just use like a big bottle of water?
Yeah, yeah. Just don't use the tap water. So this is simmering. It's close to boiling. Once it comes to a boil, you just add a cup of sugar, and I have sugar for you guys. This is organic, unrefined cane sugar. You can just use regular white sugar because what you're doing is feeding the SCOBY with this. So you're just going to put in a cup, just a half cup measure, so a cup of sugar, and you can either use 4 tea bags or a tablespoon of organic black tea. And you want to use organic because the other tea has this in it that they don't. There's chemicals in it that aren't good for the SCOBY. So I just use about a tablespoon. Just dump that in there.
And is that the amount you used? Is that something you use more or less, or is?
Tablespoon's about right.
Okay.
Yeah, it helps to add flavor to it. I just to make sure the sugar's dissolved, and then you turn it off. So you just make sure there's no sugar crystals in the bottom. And then I just put the lid on and set it on the back of the stove. Now, this has to cool to room temperature, so you can actually like touch it with your hands. Because if you put it into the SCOBY when it's boiling, you'll kill it. So once that's at room temperature, I would just take my jar with this and a fine mesh strainer, and then you just pour the tea through, and that's just to catch the loose tea leaves.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so then you're going to fill it up to here with the sweet tea, and then where'd that thing go? The little paper filter. Here it is. And then I just use a coffee filter
Oh, okay.
to cover the top. And you just would put that over the top with a rubber band, and then stick it in a cabinet or a cupboard for 7 to 10 days.
Nice.
And that's it.
And is there a way to know if you should leave it in longer, if you after
You know,
7 days?
that's a good thing to do. So either you can just like, at 7 days you could pour a little bit off and taste it, or sometimes I'll just take a straw and just stick it, you know, under the mushroom and take a little sip just to see. It's done when it no longer tastes sweet. If it still has like a sweet taste, like it tastes like sweet tea, then, do you know what sweet tea is? Tony? It's like a southern drink. They like in the South, they drink sweet tea all the time, and it's sweet. It's like it tastes like syrup.
Yeah.
And so you don't want your kombucha to taste sweet. You want it to start tasting tangy and sort of fizzy, and yeah. So
Gotcha.
that's what you